Hi, it's Danielle from VA Lifestyle Design. Today I want to share with you a little story, something that happened to me a couple of days ago that just kind of gave me, a really strong reminder about the power of intention. So I wanted to share that with you, and also one way, just one specific way that you might want to potentially apply that in building out your online career, particularly when you're getting started, either as a freelancer or as a virtual assistant. So what happened was, I'm working here at a local co-working space in Bali. It's called Dojo Bali. And you might have heard me for a long while talking about how passionate I am about, the potential opportunities, the synchronicity, the connections, the networking that is possible in a co-working space or at online marketing conferences. Anywhere people that are building careers online, whether on an entrepreneurial basis or on a support or assistant person basis, anywhere those people are kind of connecting and collaborating. And it was funny because just before we left Costa Rica, I was doing quite a bit more Instagram scanning than normal, checking out all the particular places in Bali that I was interested in looking at, cafes, events, co-working spaces, that kind of thing. And as part of that, I was actually looking at this one cafe that I'm a huge fan of in Australia. I've just been there the once, but it's on my bucket list to return when we visit Australia. Anyway, I was going through the Instagram feed for a couple of months, and every time I saw a graphic of this particular cafe, I thought to myself, I must find out who the designer is for this particular cafe. The graphic designer, they've got exceptional talent. I've never seen a look and feel like this. I'm really going to find out who that is. But of course, I was getting down to business with my day-to-day work. It wasn't a top of the list priority action item to reach out and send an email to this cafe in Australia. But I just had this curiosity, this interest, this passion and intention about finding out who this particular designer was. So I was in the co-working space just the end of last week, and I sat down in the room where I normally sit, and someone was there. It was the start of the day, so we're having a bit of chit-chat, finding out where people are from, what I do, what they do, etc. And I was talking to this gentleman, and he mentioned where he's from in Australia, and I said, oh, that's where this cafe is that I love. The name of it is Harvest. And he's like, Harvest is one of my clients. And I'm like, no way. And he's like, yeah. So he's basically his business is a combination between design and development, so website building. And as his business grew, he developed out into online marketing support as well. So he's essentially a digital marketing agency that started with a specialist in web design and programming. Anyway, so this particular cafe has been a client of his for years. And I said, I knew that he was a programmer, so I wasn't sure if he did the design. And I said, do you guys do the design? And he said, no, but my very good friend that I've collaborated with, another freelancer, is their designer and has been for a long, long time. And he gave me the website. I checked out the website. It was quite obviously the look and feel that I had been, picturing. And I was like, it was fun, first of all, because I received my intention, the thing that I was asking for. But it was also this really powerful reminder that, setting intentions is so predictable. Like that has definitely been my experience. And what I would say is that it has become more predictable the more evidence I collect over the years. So what I mean by that is every time, if you think about times in your mind when you've set an intention, okay, I'm going to try this and that's what's going to happen, or I'd really like to do this, and you feel just complete excitement and enthusiasm and curiosity and passion about it, and not fear and doubt and uncertainty. And so if you think of those times in your mind where you've just felt that curiosity and excitement, how many times has that outcome eventuated? It may not be every time. There's lots of variables that play in here, but think to yourself, have you got your own reference points for when you set an intention that information, that opportunity, that experience comes to you by some means? Because if you can start to really solidify that belief, it's amazing how much that will help you to grow your online career as a virtual assistant, as a freelancer. When I was first starting out, and this is what I actually wanted to share with you about the one specific way you can apply this power of intention. one of the challenges that I really see with people that are first getting started and they're learning the skills at the same time as they're reaching out to new clients, at the same time as they're doing the client work, potentially at a lower rate than they want to be at, ideally, all that kind of thing, is the frustration or the challenge of clients dropping off or going off the radar, or saying they're going to have, a set volume of hours per week or per month, and then it turning out to be less than that, all that kind of thing. And so I've been thinking on that a lot, because I was thinking, okay, well, how did I overcome that when I was first getting started? Because now it's a different scenario, right? There's a difference in how you approach this challenge, clients dropping off or reducing their work volume, etc. There's a difference in how you approach it when you're first getting started and you're learning the skills, as compared to when you have an established business. Because when you have an established business, you've developed some experience, you've developed a referral base, you potentially got a higher hourly rate or a higher retainer or project rate. You've got a lot of breathing room, or you've got more flexibility to, okay, reach out for a better client, or communicate with authority about why their work volume should actually be at this level and how that's going to benefit their business, etc. So it's a different scenario how you approach that challenge once you've already got experience. But right at the outset, when I very first got started, before I had ever done online work before, I realised that the intention that I had set in my mind was very clearly visualising that I'm going to be supporting this one successful online business owner. Now, I didn't do that with the exact conscious awareness of what I'm sharing with you now, like, oh, I'm going to set this intention and therefore that's what I'm going to have and all that kind of thing. It was more just, I'm sharing this with you now because I'm reflecting on it and seeing how I was able to overcome that challenge, to see if I can share that with some people to whom it's relevant. And so what I was doing was, I'd been attending some online marketing conferences. I'd had a reference point that there's these business owners that are very profitable. So I had that as a reference point in my mind. And I also had seen that, they've got this web developer and they've got this person helping them, etc. And so out of those experiences, I inadvertently was visualizing and intending that I'm going to find someone who I resonate with, who's got a successful online business. I'm going to help them, I'm going to support them, and I was visualizing doing that full time. Now, differentiate that to say now, there's a lot more virtual assistants blogging, there's a lot more freelancers blogging, there's a lot more reference points you're seeing online now in 2016 about people, being specialist or being at the top of their field, working with multiple clients, having an agency, having a team, all that kind of thing, because these are the people that are most visible because content marketing is serving them and growing their business. Therefore, it's easy to see these examples. But what I would say is, what I did, and because of the reference points I had, was I knew surely these people have teams, there must be, full-time or close to it positions, and that's what I was visualizing. And so that is actually what eventuated for my own virtual assistant career in the first couple of years. I had little ad hoc clients as well, sure, and sometimes they would come on or drop off, or I would let them go for whatever reason. But for the most part, our income stability came from the fact that even when I was working at a low rate comparatively, I had full-time hours for the first couple of years before we branched out into Grease and Media, basically, and changed the model of how we were supporting clients. And I really think that comes down to the intention that I had, whether that was on purpose or not. And so what I want to share with you is that if you're in the position where you're just getting started, you're not sure if you want to start blogging yet and, really putting yourself out there, but you want to kind of be one business owner's support person, and you want to essentially have a job. You want to, be able to show up, help them, have fantastic communication, have fantastic responsiveness, but then be running the show of their business. If you want to set that intention, you can absolutely do it. And, as a reference point, you can use my story that I've just shared, that's actually how I approached it, or you can proactively set the intention to go out about finding other reference points like that, other people who have a similar story, that they are, they got started. One blogger that comes to mind immediately is like, okay, she got started working for Laura Roeder full-time. Started out with an internship with Laura Roeder, then started, developing that full-time. If you read various blog posts in our archives, you'll see me talking about, teams that I was a part of when I was first getting started. So you can set an intention first of all, that you want to get a role like that if you don't want to have, clients dropping off, or you can set an intention that you're going to meet other virtual assistants or other online marketing support people that have a similar scenario that you can connect with, that you can collaborate with. And a really strong reason for that is because a lot of these team-based full-time roles where you're supporting one business owner that has a team, a lot of that work comes through referrals from the existing team members, right? So oftentimes there's a busy client, they might be out there speaking at public events, they might be developing new training programs, they might be collaborating with someone on a joint venture, and they're relying on their top team members to have their finger on the pulse in the freelancer world, either virtually or through their local networks and their friends and their family, etc., to say, hey, Susie hasn't done this before, but she's excellent, she's responsive, she's so excited about doing this, she loves this particular topic area that our business is focused on. I think we should give her a go. Okay, so what I'm talking about there is an experienced freelancer, an experienced online business manager, an experienced virtual assistant saying this person would be great to come on and do our customer service and our blog editing. Okay, so that is a really powerful way to start getting into these networks, and I really feel that the foundation of that is not where specifically you should go, whether it should be LinkedIn or Twitter or Upwork or a co-working space or an online marketing conference or a travel bloggers conference, not specifically where you should go, because I've seen stories of people getting these roles in all these types of contexts and more, but setting that clear intention that this is what I would like as the start of my career. Now, I'm not saying that is the perfect start for everyone. It was how I got started having that full-time role, and it was what allowed me that huge benefit of not worrying about where my income was coming in each week, and allowed me to be developing my skills in the meantime, so that when it came the time to go out on my own, so to speak, that I had the skills there to back it up. Now, that's not the only approach. You can approach it other ways. You might want to start blogging and content marketing to really boost your expertise when you're getting started. You might want to, start out subcontracting. There's all different ways to do it, but that's one really powerful way as an option for you, if that resonates with you, to set an intention to have one single client that you're working with full time. And I'll just mention one other thing about that briefly, is that you'll quite often see, and I share a lot of these inside our Facebook group for the Online Biz Skills course, but when online business owners are advertising that they're looking for a full-time team member, right? So they're not saying, oh, you're a consultant, tell me what you can do. They're saying, this is the role, it's full-time, it's virtual, it's from home, and here's what I want to help, what we would like some help with. Now, oftentimes when those roles are being advertised, these full-time roles I'm talking about, the ones that are being advertised are at this level, not so much the consulting level, but got a couple of years of experience level, right? It's not always the case. Sometimes people will advertise their entry-level positions, but a lot of the time it's like, okay, we need a content marketing manager, or we need an email automation expert, or we need a launch manager, or whatever it is, right? Things that might have required you to have some experience, some time developing your skills. Now, the same type of businesses that are advertising those roles are looking for experienced people. They also need full-time people at the entry level, doing community management, helping people update having their membership sites updated, having, all those types of entry-level things where you need the skills, you need the familiarity with the systems, but you don't need all that marketing experience, right? So a lot of the times, those same businesses will have those entry-level roles, but they're not necessarily advertising them because of what I shared before, which is a lot of the times these roles are where the existing team is saying who would be great to come on board for those entry-level positions. But that doesn't mean that you don't have the opportunity to actually reach out to those same businesses, particularly if you are you resonate with the topic area that they work in, and you can bring something to the table in terms of your own personal experience as a customer of that business, or involved within the niche or the topic area of that business, and you can bring to the table saying that you've got skills in particular systems that business owner is using. All right, so I hope that helps. The power of setting intentions, really clear intentions, it's been huge in terms of constant development and progress for us, and potentially applying that intention to, if you choose to, starting your career with a full-time entry-level support role for one particular business owner, or two business owners if you like, that's a potential way to apply it. And just to finish off, I'll share a couple of things. A lot of well, first of all, the intention, right? So everyone has their own beliefs about how intention works mechanically, right? And I'm of the personal belief that there's, one of the things I believe is that there's no such thing as a right or a wrong belief. There's empowering or disempowering. So, and that's, I guess, a principle I learned from Tony Robbins, but it's basically saying, without needing to overanalyze whether your beliefs are correct or whether they're accurate or inaccurate, are they serving you? Are they serving others? If so, that's a great thing. Are they empowering? Then that's perfect, right? And so one of the strong beliefs that I've held is that one of the spiritual laws of success from Deepak Chopra that I read a long, long time ago and kind of embedded in my subconscious is that intention and desire in the field of pure potentiality have infinite organizing power. And you might have another way of describing that, but for me, that has always been a way that when I visualize that statement, intention and desire in the field of pure potentiality have infinite organizing power, I can actually so clearly visualize that. I can clearly visualize the field of pure potentiality. I can visualize an intention there, and how that's kind of coordinating the pieces, like at this co-working space. You know, this gentleman who I had been wondering who does the design for this particular company, and him and I are sitting in this one random room together. You know, I can visualize that. So you don't have to necessarily use that one, but you know, based on your own beliefs, like how you would describe that, and just have a think about how you can apply that to specific practical scenarios in building your online career. And the second thing I'll mention is that, from a long time before I started my virtual assistant career, I had worked on a lot of, well, how would you want to describe it? I'd studied a lot of mindset principles. I'd studied a lot of quote unquote personal development principles, etc. But when I was transitioning from a solo virtual assistant to getting more clients on board, building a team, one of the things that I found most incredibly valuable was a program by Michelle Dale called the VA Rockstar. Now, the VA Rockstar is a lot about mindset, but specifically as it pertains to online services, to being a virtual assistant, to being a freelancer, to working with clients, to the challenges, the personal internal challenges or the practical real world challenges that come up in client services, and Michelle describing how certain mindset principles she's applied to those practical scenarios. That was something that really helped me to bring it to that concrete level where I knew, okay, well, there's this approach that I can take that if I need to let go of a challenging client, if I have this intention that is going to free up energetic space for another client to come in, that's probably what's going to happen. And then I would gradually collect my own evidence that, oh my gosh, this works every time, until it was my own solid belief. So the VA Rockstar, that's called, applying mindsets and, vision, gratitude, having certainty, all those types of things, specifically to client service scenarios. So I hope that helps, guys, and I will talk to you very soon. Ciao.